I would like to thank, first of all, to all the organizers that we have a chance to present here our experience with the helicopter emergency medical system in Czech Republic, and also I want to thank to all of you to invite us again here in Zagreb, in a beautiful city, and I hope it's not the last time. Well, I will shorten the presentation as much as possible to catch the time. We are a little behind. So what is this presentation about? It is about the experience with emergency medical helicopter emergency medical service in Czech Republic, where we run the EMS helicopter EMS for 25 years. But of course, not only for 25 years. The first information about using of helicopter are since 1956 with using of a military helicopter for secondary transport to specialized hospitals in Prague, and also some experiments were done with Mi-1, a small helicopter, it's a Russian helicopter, where the patient should be transported in this box outside and communicating with the crew by this hole. I was not the patient, so I don't know how does it work, but it must be really funny to be the patient in this kind of helicopter. But the first, let's say, serious emergency service was started in 1970 by this kind of big Mi-8, this heavy helicopter, also Russian provenience, and those rescue missions were done in the former Czechoslovakia in High Tatras. But unfortunately they were stopped in 1979 after a big crash where 8 members died, 8 rescuers and pilots died in a crash in Mlininská Dolina, and then this operation was ceased and was stopped until the 1st April 1987, where after 8 years was restart the emergency medical service, the helicopter emergency medical service in the system which is running till now. You can see the first helicopters, they were operated by police. It's a well-known Mi-2, and if we have seen the presentation from Poland or Hungary, it's still the same helicopter, and it's still the typical helicopter of former socialist countries, so the old ambulances and so on. I must say the majority of the missions were also the secondary missions, that mean inter-hospital transport. This is the military helicopter which was involved in one station. Okay, so some more Mi-2s and more Mi-2s. They were working for a long time until the mid of 1990s, and then they were replaced by the modern, let's say, Western type BO-105 Pezetel Kanya. It was Mi-2 but with American engines, and then by Accuray AS350. It's a French light helicopter, and this helicopter was run on the majority of stations until the new century. One more type, Bell 206 and Bell 207, and since 1993 it was one exception in Prague. The MS was run by Bell 412, which was very nice. It's a mid-category helicopter. It's a little bit expensive to run, but it's very nice. Internal space is big. You can have 2 patients on ventilation and so on. Those two holes are not the Kulomets. Also, it's a police helicopter, but it's not the guns, but the pitot probes. Well, what about the helicopter emergency medical service network? When we started in 1987, the country was divided to almost 60 regions, let's say 60 districts, and each district has its own ambulance service. And the first helicopter was started in Prague in our ambulance service in 1987. Later in 1989, new 2 other stations were started in Brno and Ostrava, and after political changes in 1990, the big expansion of the new stations began. They were started in Plana, in Hradec Králové, in Olomouc. Later, the station in Plana was cancelled and started station in Plzeň, Ústí nad Labem, České Budějovice, and Jihlava. And finally, the last two stations were started in Havlíčkův Brod and then in Liberec. So in that time, we had 11 bases for the country with 10 million of inhabitants. The last change was done in 1994, where this base was cancelled, and that means we have till now 10 helicopter emergency medical service bases. So, as I mentioned, since the 1990s, the country was divided to, let's say, 60 small districts, but after 2003, the responsibility for the emergency medical service became to bigger regions, and so now we have 14 regions, including the city of Prague, where I am from. So this is the situation right now. And in the meantime, there was a lot of government in our country. I hope it's better in your country, but we have new government each 1, 2, maximum 3 years. And each of those governments make a new decision about the helicopter emergency medical service. So the one decision is everybody will be run by police. The second decision, everybody will be run by private company. Then another decision, everybody will be run by police. Another decision, everything will be run by private companies. And it's changing every 2 years. But the final decision was done in 2007, which is till now valid. So the one station is operated by police. 4 stations are operated by one private company. Another 4 stations are operated by the other private company, and 1 station is operated by military crew. And there are so we have 10 stations now. So that means 4 regions has no EMS station, and those regions are covered by neighborhood regions, and they can ask for any helicopter which is the nearest one to help their ground EMS. That's the situation which is in Czech Republic right now. So a few pictures from the new era, from 2003 and later. New helicopters were introduced in service, especially Eurocopter 135 T2. This in colors of Delta. This is the Sokol. It's Polish helicopter, which is quite big but also very expensive to run. It's used by military, and this is Bell 427 used by Alpha helicopter, and by this company is also now used the Eurocopter 135 as well, and the same type is used by police in Prague. A few pictures from the interior of the helicopters, but I think those pictures you can you know from all the congresses and all the literature, so it's nothing surprising. All the helicopters are designed to transport one patient. Here you can see the transport of incubator for newborn baby and so on. No surprise. This is the interior of Pizel Kanya. It's very similar to Sokol, and you can see this is the biggest type we use in Czech Republic. And as I told, it's very popular by the crew because it's a big. You have plenty of space, but it's very expensive to operate this helicopter. So only army can do it. Well, all the helicopters are IFR. That means they can fly under the instrument flight rules, but usually in helicopter emergency medical service, it's usually not used. It's just let's say backup for case of emergency going back in some deteriorating weather. Well, in the state operators, the helicopter has 2 pilots, or pilot and board engineer. They are provided by operator as well as the helicopter itself, and the local EMS provides the physician. It should be skilled physician with board with the anesthesiology, surgery or traumatology, and the flight paramedic. While if this private operator, they usually provide only 1 pilot, of course the helicopter, and also the flight crew, that means flight paramedic and physician, are provided by a local EMS. In this case, to meet the the paramedic should has special training to be a real flight paramedic under those regulations. Well, our EMS provide is on some stations. We provide also some special operation. That means especially fixed rope operation in mountainous areas in the summer or in the night to bring up the people from water or from the mountains. and this is the training with the Mountain Rescue Service, and also the military helicopter provides the hoist operations in case of working in some unhostile terrain, even in the mountains, somewhere in the middle of forests, and so on. In Prague, there is also a Bell 412, which is ready from sunrise to sunset, with the crew of 2 firemen who are trained in the hoist operations. So if it's necessary in the center of Bohemia to use some kind of such operation, this helicopter starts and begin to evacuate the patient from some place like this, which is not accessible by car or by ambulance, or is not possible to land, and this patient is transferred to some better place, and the ambulance crew take care for this patient after the evacuation. Well, this is one of those cases. This is the one of the river in central Bohemia during the high water, when the people went on the raft, and the raft was below this tree, and there are 2 people in the water, cannot be survived just only by the helicopter. This, by the way, this picture was done by myself. I was involved in this operation. In 2 stations there are also night vision goggles available, so those stations provide the primary missions, that mean the missions directly to the scene, 24 hours per day, overnight. Okay, what is the most important? The financing of the helicopter emergency service. I have to congratulate the people from Hungary, because if they're able to run their EMS in 7 million euro per year, it's a very, very good number, because in Czech Republic it's a little bit more expensive, as you can see. Well, in general, the health insurance company covers only the flight paramedic and the physician, that means the medical crew, while the state, let's better say the Ministry of Healthcare, rent the helicopter and the flight crew. What does it mean? It means that the helicopter is paid by the flight hour. It's, let's say, a little bit small, let's say small amount of money, and it differs from the state operator and from the non-state operator. The state operator receives approximately 1,400 euro per flight hour, while the non-state operator, that means private company, received about 1,000 euro. But there is another payment which is called payment for standby. That means the payment for to be ready to fly, and the state operator receives nothing, because they have their own task and they have the crew ready anytime. But the private operator receives approximately 5,500 euro per day. They are ready to fly. If you compare it with the medical crew, we receive approximately 40 euro for each crew per day. So the structure of the payment is about 80% the standby, the day fee, and the 20% for the flying hours. So it's a very nice job to provide the ambulance flights in Czech Republic. Just to compare the air ambulance versus the whole EMS system in Czech Republic, the data are from 2011, last available data. The ground EMS budget was in the whole Czech Republic about 184 millions of euro, while the helicopter emergency medical service cost was about 26 millions of euro. That, if you have in mind, we have 10 stations, and comparing with, I think, 6 or 7 stations in Hungary, running for 7 million euro, you can see that it's a really black hole in Czech Republic. If you compare 1 day on duty, one helicopter emergency medical station, it's 7,000 euro per 12 hours. The ground ambulance with physician is about 800 euros, but for 24 hours, and the ground ambulance without physician about 520 euro per 24 hours. So you can compare how much does the EMS cost. And one more data sheet. If we compare how many patients are treated by the air ambulance and by the ground ambulance, we can see that only 0.72% of patients are treated by helicopter emergency medical service, but those 0.72 patients need 20% of the whole, let's say virtual, because there is a lot of resources, but overall EMS budget in Czech Republic. That means it's a really extremely expensive service. If you compare the price per patient, it's about 4,000 euro per helicopter emergency service and to one patient, versus about 228 euro for the ground ambulance. So those are the numbers about or the budget and so on. Well, what about the operations? Here you can see the data from 2008. From the last century, 1987 till 2003. You can see here the flight hours in blue, the flights in red, and the number of patients in green. This is the increasing number of patients during the first years when developing the system, and from those time, the number of missions is approximately still the same, about 5,000 missions per year for 10 ambulance stations, for 10 helicopter emergency medical service stations. So that means approximately 500 missions per year and per station. I believe the system shifts a little bit from the logic, I believe it will be fine, to system, I know that it will be useful. So in last years, approximately since 2003, and if you can remember, this is the same year where the ambulance services were transferred from small local ambulance services, district ambulance services, to relatively big regional ambulance services. The number of primary missions goes up and grows. Now it's more than 50%, and the secondary missions are coming slowly, but coming down. For example, in Central Bohemia, where we operate the ambulance, the helicopter ambulance service, we have now about 15% of secondary missions and 85% of primary missions. But in remote areas, in outside Prague, sometimes the situation still is completely different, and they have a majority of secondary missions, the same situation as in as 25 years ago. Well, we also have a recommended procedure with because the Ministry of Health, which pays for the service, was not able to do any single instruction how to use the emergency medical service. So our Society of Emergency Service of Emergency Medicine made a recommended procedure. We know there is a clear benefit of shortening the transport to trauma center. So this is the first important point. If the using of helicopter will shorten the treatment in trauma center for more than 15 minutes, and also if there is a vital signs failure, and the using of helicopter will take any time benefit. That's two most important cases where the helicopter should be used. Of course, the helicopter should be used for EMS cases in remote or inaccessible areas. It should be used in mass casualty incident, and also it can be used for search and other flights. But it's a very, very small number of flights like this. Which are the trauma center cases? It's a serious impairment of vital functions. If the patient if there are two or more long bones fractures, serious burns, high-risk mechanism of trauma. And what is the high-risk mechanism? It's fall from 6 meters or more when the person is, when a vehicle is running over a person, when the collision with a vehicle is at speed more than 35 kilometers, when the person is ejected from a vehicle, or when the passenger is dead and the second passenger is not dead. This should be treated in trauma center regardless the status of his vital signs. What is very important also is the safety in helicopter emergency medical service, because many times there is a big pressure to the helicopter emergency crew to help for any times. You know, the people from newspaper, from TV, the politicians very often say only the emergency medical service, only the helicopter can save the patient. Or on the other side, even there was a helicopter on the scene, the patient didn't survive. So the crew are under the pressure that the helicopter is something very special. There's something like a god coming from the sky, and only this can help the patient. Of course, it's not true. And there are some incidents. This is more fun incident. The crew landed on the ice in the evening and went to the restaurant because it was some kind of training. And when they arrived back, the helicopter was under the water, but it's nothing. Nobody was injured. This is another incident where when the military people try to run up the helicopter. But this is more serious incident. Happily, it's without any casualty. This is the most serious incident till now, where 4 people were on board, and the patient who was on board perished during this incident. The reason was the technical failure of one engine, and the pilot tried to land at the field, but this was not successful, and the helicopter made some turns around, and the patient died. This is one more crash, and this is the last crash from 2010. In the bad weather, the helicopter hit the ground, but fortunately nobody perished. Again, everybody survived this accident. Some small accidents, not important. Okay, so it's important that on one side, really there is a big enthusiasm of all people involved in the helicopter emergency medical service, but on the other side, we have to, in each moment, we have to keep in mind the responsibility for safety, not only for the crew, but and first of the patient and the people on the ground, the people not involved in the ambulance. What is very important, the responsibility is not only the question of flight crew, that means the pilot or the co-pilot, but this very important role of emergency medical service, and the EMS must accept the responsibility to make a decision about the risk and benefit, to compare the risk and benefit of using the helicopter, if it's ambulatory flight, if it's helicopter emergency flight, if it's a really big emergency, or if it's not so important flight. And this decision must be done by emergency medical service, and people from EMS should say to the pilot what is the level of the emergency, and then the pilot can make a decision if they can break some barriers which are for standard commercial flying, and they can lower the safe standards a little bit below, of course in accordance with all regulations, but the risk of the EMS of the helicopter emergency medical service operations is a little bit higher, that can be a little bit higher than from the standard commercial flying. Just to compare the data from United States, where the fatal accident rate exceeds road by 13.5-fold, and the fatality rate exceeds the road ambulance by 34 times. That means if you will fly by helicopter as a patient, you have a 34 times bigger chance to die during the accident in comparison with going by the ambulance. So keep in mind, the helicopter flies, it's nice, but sometimes it stops flying, it's not so nice. Well, so we're approaching the end. Some conclusions. I think that's me. I think the EMS can have a very significant positive influence for patients in several life-threatening conditions, in remote areas, inaccessible areas, especially mountains, especially islands, especially highways, especially some place where it's in the middle of nowhere, in some small village where no highways, no roads and so on. It's very important. On the other side, helicopter emergency medical service is not an automatic life-saving system. It can be useless or even can be harmful when it is used in a wrong way, because if you will fly to the, for example, if you fly in the city to the next street, it's of course much better to use the ambulance, because when you land, when you go to the patient, when you go back to the helicopter, then you land somewhere on the roof or somewhere in the heliport, then you go again by the ambulance. Sometimes it's terrible, and we have a lot of experience in quite distant places. Places distant from Prague. It's better to use ambulance than to use helicopter, because it's quicker. It's really quicker, and it's nonsense to use helicopter in such case. The helicopter itself doesn't bring any benefit for the patient. You also you also think about not only about the helicopters, but you should think about the infrastructure. You should think about the training. It's sometimes very simple to spend the millions to buy a very new yellow helicopters, but then it's a big problem to spend thousands to build a suitable heliports. Why do you want to buy the best helicopter if you have to land 2 kilometers away from the hospital and then go by the ambulance for half an hour through the city? It has no sense. It has no sense if you have a helicopter but you don't have people who are able to handle the emergency, who has the skills and so on. So it's not only the question to buy the helicopters, but it's a question to develop a system, a working system. Well, if you want to have a system, you have to have rules. So it's very important to establish clear rules when and how to use and when to not use helicopter emergency medical service, to prevent both over and underuse, misunderstanding, time loss, and so on. I think our countries are not so rich to say, okay, it's no problem, just send a helicopter. You should ask why to send the helicopter, not why not to send a helicopter. That's my recommendation, that's all. Well, to have a good system, it's important to establish excellent, but not a good. You should have excellent coordination with ground ambulances and hospitals, as well as communication with the local dispatch centers. And what is again my point of view, it's very bad to separate the ground ambulance dispatch and helicopter dispatch. In Czech Republic we have 10 regions with the helicopter emergency medical service and 4 regions which has no problem to access the helicopter. Just they should pick up the phone and the call for the helicopter. It takes few minutes, no problem. But if you compare the data in the regions where the helicopters are available directly in the dispatch, the helicopter is sent 5 times more often than in the regions where the helicopters is not there, but they are the helicopter is not ours, but they are there. And you know, we can talk about the patient, we can talk about the ethics, we can talk about the brain and thinking about that, but in fact there are people working in the dispatch centers, there are people working in the ambulance, and the people act like that. And we have 25 years of experience to say, please call the helicopter. On the other side, if you will not call the helicopter, we will go to the court and so on. Nothing helps. The only what can help is to involve the people to the helicopter medical service. Well, what is last but not least, you should have a quality assurance. That means collect the data, the defined targets, collect the data, make a routine quality control mechanism, look for the changes, how the changes change the parameters and so on. The high quality helicopter emergency medical service is not only about the helicopters are flying over us. You can see the helicopter flying to say, okay, everything is perfect. That's not true. You have to have a suitable heliport, systematic training and so on. We have talked about that before. And last pictures, still keep in mind that the safety should be top priority of all helicopter emergency service activities. We are not here to die, we are here to help the people. So keep in mind, you don't have to complete the mission as in the army. You have to survive the mission. That's very important. Okay, well, that's all. Thank you for your attention.